The RF BitBanger arrived in this box, which is pretty small. This is much smaller than the boxes that kits like the DX60 from Heathkit shipped in the 60s. So, and here's everything that came in the box, the bag of parts, the wire for winding coils, and the printed circuit boards. And opening up the printed circuit board pouch, this is what we have. At the top is a set of 12 separate circuit boards that I'll have to break apart for the RF low-pass filters for the output. Now here's a close-up of the main circuit board, and just to the right of the penny you can see the Atmega 328P. It's a 32-pin microcontroller, and it's the same microcontroller that's in many different models of Arduino. And so all of the program for running this RF BitBanger digital transceiver is on that microcontroller and can be edited. It's all available on GitHub for editing, or of course you could just write your own program totally if you wanted to. Just to the right of the Atmega 328P, you'll see a little tan square there. It's the 25 megahertz clock crystal for the RF BitBanger. And there's apparently been a little bit of problem with stability with that crystal. And so I have obtained an identically sized temperature compensated crystal oscillator that maybe at some point I'll be brave enough to replace that crystal with. It would require removing the crystal without also unsoldering all of the other surface mount parts that are near it, and then popping in the and soldering in place the temperature compensated crystal oscillator. So maybe that will happen. Maybe not. Well, here we have many of the parts for the RF BitBanger kit taped onto sheets of paper here, which is the way I prepare for building kits. I like to identify all the parts in advance, make sure I have them. Turned out I was missing two parts, two 680 microfarad capacitors. So I simply posted a report of that fact on the Slack channel for the RF BitBanger, and immediately got a response from the person who put together these kits, and he got the parts in the mail the very next day. They haven't arrived yet, but they're on their way. I've got a tracking number. So that'll be great. When that gets here, I'll actually start the building. We've got the RF power train here that's going to build up the signal to a whopping 4 watts with those those transistors. And then over here we've got the first things I've done to actually work on building the kit is to wind these toroidal inductors here. These are just inductors. These are 4 transformers. Some of them have 3 wires twisted together and then wound around the toroid, and then the ends have to get them matched up again with the so that I have the 3 ends on one side matching up with the 3 ends on the other side of the toroid so that I can install them correctly. These 4 inductors, the yellow ones here, are part of what I originally thought were low-pass filters, but they're actually band-pass filters for 2 of the ham radio bands that I use frequently, the 40-meter band and the 20-meter band. And these are the little circuit boards that they'll be mounted on, along with a number of surface mount capacitors that I will have to put on. But they are the largest size of surface mount capacitors, and I think I'll be able to mount them without too much trouble. I have to identify those and get them taped onto the board here, onto the paper also. And down here we have the connectors with the external world here. We've got something some people will recognize here. This is a PS2 keyboard connector. So I'll be using I think I have a PS2 keyboard on an old desktop that I'm not using anymore. And a BNC connector for antenna. Two different forms of power connector, a standard barrel connector receptacle, and this is actually just has two screws on it, so if you don't have the right you're out in the field somewhere and you don't have the right connector on your battery, then you can just connect the wires directly to this. So just waiting now for the two capacitors to arrive in the mail that are missing here, and we'll get started on building the RF BitBanger.